Hey there, grade six. New video for you guys. This one is focusing on addition and subtraction equations, looking at word problems. And so by the end of this video, hopefully, and the end of the practice, hopefully you can say that you can solve 1 and 2-step word problems involving differences or totals using addition and subtraction equations. And so here is where we're going to start. Sometimes if we find that a word problem is long, it's actually more convenient to write out the data or the important information in point form. And so if we have this problem that says Nazem spent 25 minutes doing his math homework, and he spent 15 minutes more on his science project than on his math homework, how much time did Nazem spend on his science project? To write that stuff out in point form, we would say, well, he spent 25 minutes on math homework, 15 minutes more on science project than on his math homework, and he spent X minutes on his science project. So then the question becomes, where did I get this last part? Well, that's what we have to sort of figure out. That's sort of the answer to the problem that we have to find here. How much time did Nazem spend on his science project? And then what you can do is just use addition or subtraction to figure out this. And in this case, this is going to be an addition question. You're going to add those two numbers together because he spends 25 minutes plus an extra 15 minutes on a science project. So that's going to give you 40 minutes, right? And so X would equal 40. And so what we are going to be doing is just writing out the data in point form. And I can actually just type it out this time. And so there are 25 marbles, 7 marbles are red, X marbles are not red, right? And so what we're going to need to do with this one is, once we have this stuff figured out in point form, we can say, well, I know that I have to take the 7 that are red away from the 25 marbles that Rona has, and that's going to tell you the number of marbles that are not red. In this case, that'll tell you what X is going to be equal to. Okay, so what we need to do then is move on and just review quickly this concept of totals and differences. And so here we have two numbers, two pictures. The question is, what two things can we find from these numbers? Well, we can find a total, right? And so we would have 7 plus 3, which would give us 10, or we can find a difference, which would be 7 minus 3 would give us 4. Okay, so we're going to talk about, so then we can find the difference, which is 4, or the total in the model. And then we can write an equation for each, right? And so we can say 7 plus 3 equals 10, and we can say 7 minus 3 equals 4. And so those are our two equations that we can write with this information. Okay, now we can again write the equation for both of these, right? So if we have a large number 8, the smaller number is X, the difference would be 3, and the total would be 13, right? And so if we do 8 minus, so the large number minus the smaller number equals 3, that would be our one equation. Or we could say our larger number plus our smaller number is going to equal 13. And so in both of these cases, hopefully we can see that the missing number is going to be 5. And so that's just a way to look at differences and totals in terms of equations, because you're going to need to be doing that in your workbook. And actually, if you would like, you can actually almost pause it here. Let's see. No, don't pause it just yet. We're going to move on to this one, right? And so this is going to look similar in your workbook. And what we're going to get a chance to do is look at these problems where, so it's going to say, can I get this open? Oh, I know why. There we go. So we have X spoons, 10 forks, 22 spoons and forks all together, right? And so our parts that we have over here, and I think I'm just going to write it down, right? So we have, push a little harder, X spoons, okay, and we have 10 forks, right? The total then is going to be 22. Okay, and so what we would have here is that I'm not even sure. We would not need to use the difference. This would be a total. But basically, x plus 10. I'm just going to write it over here. X plus 10 would equal 22. And so x is going to be 12 in this case. Okay, so there would be 12 spoons. I think I'll just do one or two more. And so here we have 5 cars, X buses, 21 cars and buses in the parking lot, right? So parts, right? We have 5 cars, X buses. My total here is 21 cars. And so my equation is going to be 5 plus X equals 21. And then X is going to equal 16 here. And then so over here, there are 6 bananas, there are X kiwis, there are 10 fewer bananas than kiwis. And so here's our parts. We have 6 bananas, we have X kiwis, and then we have 10 fewer bananas than kiwis. So there's actually more kiwis than bananas, right? And so what we would say then is we have X minus 10, right? So kiwis minus how many fewer bananas there are is going to equal 6, which means that there are going to be, right, 16 kiwis, because there's 10 fewer bananas than kiwis. So this number here has got to be 10 more, okay? So actually now at this point, what you can do is you can pause it and you can work on at least number 1 in the workbook on page 82. Let's move on here. So this is now just a straight up word problem. It says that a cake recipe calls for 5 cups of berries. Jose has 3 cups of raspberries and some blueberries. And some blueberries. How many cups of blueberries will he need? So he would have like, where am I looking here? He would have he needs to have 5 berries. He would have 3 cups of raspberries plus some number of blueberries, which would equal 5. Okay. Oh, that's a bonus question. I should have gotten rid of that. Sorry. Let me just get rid of that for a sec. So we'd have 3 plus X would equal 5. And then X is going to equal 2 here. You'd need 2 cups of blueberries. If he's got 3 cups of raspberries plus some number of blueberries would equal 5, then he would need 2 of those cups. So before we get into these 2-step problems, you can actually work on number 2 and 3 if you'd like. If you want to pause it for a quick second, then pick up the question. But we're going to work on 2-step problems. So here we have Sheila. It says that Sheila bought 8 hockey cards and 10 baseball cards. Then she just gave away 3 cards. How many cards does she have left? So it says that the main question is blank. It's actually, this is the main question, is how many cards does she have left? We can't solve that one yet, because the first question we actually have to ask and answer is how many cards does she have in total, right? Before we can do that that subtraction about giving 3 cards away, we have to figure out the first question. And so the first question here is just how many cards does she have in total? And so what we would do then is you would say that's the question we're asking. So that would actually be 8 plus 10, which equals 18. And so she's got 18 cards. And then we can, she can give away the three cards. We'd have our 18 minus 3 equals 15. And then that answer is going to be our answer to the main question. She's got 15 cards left. And so here we're asked to, again, identify the question you need to ask first and answer first before you can answer the main question. And so it says that there are 29 students in the class. 15 of them have siblings. How many more students have siblings than no siblings? And so the first question that we have to ask here is how many students don't have siblings in the class. That's the first question we have to ask, because that's the subtraction we have to do, right? So that's going to end up being our 29 minus 15, which is going to give us 14. And so 14 of the kids don't have siblings. And so then that's going to enable us to answer that how many more students have siblings than no siblings. But that's what we have to figure out first. So the next one says, Mr. B paid $22 for a book and a CD. The CD cost $8. How much more expensive was the book than the CD? Well, we can't figure out that one yet. First, what we have to do is take what he paid for the book and the CD, and then take away the CD problem. Incidentally, I don't know how many of you are still familiar with CDs, but they are like these things that you can put, these little discs that you can put into stereos and listen to music or books or whatever else. Just, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with that anymore. Anyway, so then 22 minus 8 is going to give us 14. So then the book cost $14, and then that's going to enable us to figure out how much more expensive the book was than the CD, right? So we're going to figure out that that's $6 more, okay? Oh, that got out of place. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so that's the two-step problems, and that's basically number 4 and 5 in the workbook if you want to work on that stuff. If you haven't been doing that stuff, then 82 and 83, do the workbook problems. You don't have to do the bonus if you don't want to, but that's a way to look at totals and differences using addition, subtraction. Nothing here is multiplication or division. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.